Hello everyone, a very good evening, a very warm welcome. Namaste, Sat Sri Akal sabko. So today is the session in which we will be doing finance previous year questions that have been asked in maybe SEBI, RBI, ठीक है, PFRDA. We have picked a lot of questions that we think is more suitable for you to practice at this time. Otherwise, there were a lot of PYQs around 100 plus that have been asked from finance. But I have taken around 25 MCQs. Most of them from SEBI because this is the exam that we are preparing for right now. ठीक है, तो शुरू करते हैं जल्दी जल्दी 25 क्वेश्चन. We will try to do them in 30 minutes today. Let's focus more on efficiency and the time that which we can save. Let's utilize it on reading something else. तो ठीक है, सारे लोग जल्दी जल्दी आंसर देंगे. We will do the questions really fast. These are really easy questions. Pappu question है, halwa question है. You will get a lot of confidence by reading that yes, if I can solve these previous year questions, then nobody can stop me in cracking SEBI Grade A exam. ठीक है, तो चलिए, best of luck guys. I would expect at least 20 plus from all of you from these 25 questions. ठीक है, चलिए, the first question is on your screen now. BSE is headquartered at which place? This question was asked in SEBI Phase 1 2020. इसका आंसर है BSE is headquartered at which place? BSE बहुत ही फेमस है ये स्ट्रीट मुंबई में. कभी भी आप स्टॉक मार्केट की न्यूज सुनेंगे तो दलाल स्ट्रीट का नाम जरूर आता है. BSE is headquartered at दलाल स्ट्रीट मुंबई. ठीक है, let me open in the question in the chat window also. Dalal Street, Mumbai, right? So Bombay Stock Exchange, the headquarters is at Dalal Street, Mumbai, or NSE, that is National Stock Exchange, the headquarters is at Bandra Kurla Complex, Mumbai, BKC. तो ये दो मेन स्टॉक एक्सचेंज है हमारी मुंबई में, बॉम्बे स्टॉक एक्सचेंज एंड नेशनल स्टॉक एक्सचेंज. Next question is corporate debt market is regulated by which of the following institution? Corporate debt market is regulated by which of the following institution? RBI, PFRDA, SEBI, NABARD, IFSCA. Guys, note down one thing. In every exam, whether it is RBI, SEBI or PFRDA, there is always a one question. There is always a one question on who regulates what? Who regulates NBFCs? Who regulates urban cooperative banks? Who regulates capital markets? Who regulates debt markets? There would always be one question like that. So corporate debt market is regulated by which of the following institution? The answer is हमारा प्यारा SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India. ठीक है, कौन बताएगा मुझे NBFCs को कौन रेगुलेट करता है? NBFCs को कौन रेगुलेट करता है? Tell me by typing in the chat window. Who regulates the capital markets? Who regulates stock exchanges? Who regulates urban cooperatives? ऐसे बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन आपके एग्जाम में आ सकते हैं. NBFCs are regulated by RBI. Capital markets, whether that is equity market or debt market, is regulated by SEBI. stock exchanges are regulated by SEBI, urban cooperatives are regulated by RBI. ठीक है, चलिए क्वेश्चन नंबर 3, which of the following would be given least priority at the time of liquidation of company? If some company is liquidated at some point in time, which of the following would be given least priority? Least priority in terms of returning their money, that is, who would be given the least priority, who would be given their money last if anything is left. Among these, who would be given the last preference? Preference shareholders, debenture shareholders, both A and B, equity shareholders, or environment? Very good, very good. Lot of you are answering right. The answer here is equity shareholders are given the last preference. ठीक है, पूरा चार्ट देखेंगे तो इंसॉल्वेंसी एंड बैंकरप्सी कोड के अंदर पूरा एक फ्लो है, who is given the first preference, who is given the last preference. सबसे पहले जो भी लिक्विडेशन की कॉस्ट है, कोई केस फाइल करना है, कोई लॉयर करना है, the cost for that liquidation would be adjusted first, then any dues for the workman, then any unpaid wages, then debt to unsecured creditors, dues of central and state government, preference shareholders and equity shareholders. अगर shareholders की बात करें, the first preference is given to the debt. If bank has given a loan to the company, the bank would get the first preference to get the money back from whatever is left with the company. After debt, shareholders or debt holders, not shareholders, debt holders के बाद नंबर आता है preference shareholders का. So preference shareholders or preference shares are a mix of debt and equity. They are a hybrid instrument. I hope you would have studied about them. Last में नंबर आता है equity shareholders का, जिन्होंने कंपनी के एक्चुअल शेयर्स खरीदे हैं. They would be returned the money in the last only if something is left. ठीक है, ये क्वेश्चन आपका आया था जी सेबी फेज 1 2020 में. बहुत लोग इसको गलत करके आए थे. इट वाज बेस्ड ऑन वन सिंपल बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट दैट पीपल शुड हैव नोन. क्वेश्चन नंबर 4, which instrument is used by foreign entities not registered with SEBI to invest in Indian markets via registered brokers? This question from SEBI Phase 1 2020, which instrument is used by foreign entities who are not registered with SEBI but still they want to invest in India through registered brokers? What instrument is used by them? Participatory notes, IDR, GDR, both B and C, none of the above. बताइए, which of the following instruments is used by foreign entities? The answer is participatory notes, what we also call as P notes. ठीक है, तो P notes में क्या होता है? These foreign entities would invest money through this registered broker and this registered broker is registered with SEBI. So this registered broker would invest in Indian stock markets and we issue participatory notes to the foreign entities. के मैंने आपको ये participatory notes दे दिए हैं, your money has been invested. Now participatory notes many a times are under criticism because what happens in participatory notes is that SEBI does not get to know who the actual investor is because SEBI के पास investment कहाँ से आ रहा है? Registered broker के पास से. SEBI को नहीं पता है ये actual foreign entities कौन सी हैं because they are not directly registered with SEBI. So that's why participatory notes many a times are under criticism that they are being used for hawala money, for corruption, scandals, all those things, right? For manipulating and all those things. So, but still they are very important part of Indian stock markets. I think if P notes are banned, our stock market would crash like anything. Question number 5. What is What is the minimum amount to be invested by the anchor investor? What is the minimum amount to be invested by the anchored investor? 5 crore, 10 crore, 15 crore, 25 crore or none of the above? Anchor investor कितना minimum amount invest करेगा? Who is an anchor investor? See, when a company comes with an IPO, before the IPO itself, before the date of IPO itself, they can sell some shares to investors. Those are called anchor investors. And the condition is that anchor investor has to mandatorily invest minimum of 10 crore. So this is the minimum amount that anchor investor would have to invest. और anchor investors को जो शेयर बेचे जाते हैं, that can be maximum of 60%. यहाँ पे नहीं लिखा है, ये लिखा है 60% of the total shares that are being issued to QIBs. तो जितना भी टोटल शेयर QIBs क्वालिफाइड इंस्टीट्यूशनल इन्वेस्टर्स का रहता है, उसका 60% ही एंकर इन्वेस्टर को बेचा जा सकता है. दैट्स इट. और एंकर इन्वेस्टर हैज टू मिनिमम इन्वेस्ट 10 करोड़ टू बिकम अ इन्वेस्टर अंडर द स्कीम एंकर इन्वेस्टर. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. डीमैटेरियलाइजेशन ऑफ सिक्योरिटीज इज कवर्ड अंडर विच एक्ट? सो किस एक्ट के अंदर they have talked about dematerialization of securities? Depository Act, Stock Exchange Act, Securities Contract Regulation Act, Payment and Settlement Act, none of the above. This question is asked in SEBI Phase 1 2018 exam. That time also primary and secondary markets was part of the syllabus. Dematerialization of securities. What is dematerialization? Dematerialization होती है when you convert the physical shares into electronic form, into demat form. You keep them into your demat account. आजकल जब हम shares खरीदते हैं, we don't get a physical copy, right? We get a copy over an email and a contract note, and the shares are secured in a demat account which we can log in online and see. So this whole process is called dematerialization, and dematerialization is basically proposed or covered under Depositories Act. ठीक है जी. Next question. What is the limit for retail investor in public issue? How much amount a retail investor can invest? How much amount a retail investor can invest in public issue? 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 5 lakh, none of the above. This question was asked in SEBI Phase 1 2018. किसी भी IPO में an investor would be categorized as retail investor under the condition that the maximum amount that investor can invest is 2 lakh. Earlier it was 1 lakh, long time back, then it was changed to 2 lakh. ठीक है जी. Fine. So what is the limit for retail investor in public issue? 2 lakh. Definition of separation of ownership from trading rights is called what? जब आप ट्रेडिंग राइट्स को ओनरशिप से सेपरेट कर देते हैं, दैट इज कॉल्ड व्हाट? दैट इज कॉल्ड डीम्यूचुअलाइजेशन, म्यूचुअलाइजेशन, को-ऑप्टिंग, मोनेटाइजेशन और नन ऑफ द अबव. देखिए, अर्लियर व्हाट यूज्ड टू हैपन ऑन स्टॉक एक्सचेंज वाज that the members who were the owners were also having the trading rights. So they used to manipulate the rules in their favor because they were the owners and they were doing the trading. So later it was decided that this is biased thing that is happening. So they should separate the ownership and the trading rights, and therefore came the concept of demutualization. So where you separate the ownership and the management, you can say. Owners are others, managers are others, owners are others, trading members are others. That is called demutualization. Next question. Open interest indicates what? Open interest indicates what? The number of long contracts, the number of short contracts, the number of contracts outstanding, the number of contracts settled, none of the above. Open interest indicates what? आपको पता है ओपन इंटरेस्ट क्या होता है? डू यू नो व्हाट इज ओपन इंटरेस्ट? ध्यान से समझिएगा, आई विल एक्सप्लेन इट वेरी क्लियरली. हम दो ओपन इंटरेस्ट इज टॉक्ड इन टर्म्स ऑफ शेयर्स. आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू दिस विद एन एग्जांपल ऑफ एन हाउस. सपोज ए and B enter into a deal where A wants to sell his house to B. This is one open contract. यहाँ पे एक हाउस है जो A B को बेच रहा है, that is one open contract. Then there is another house where C is selling to D. एक और हाउस है which C is selling to D. That is another open contract. So now we have two open contracts. We have two open contracts. Now suppose the house which B bought from A. Now suppose the house which B bought from A, B sells it to E. So now this is the same house. This is the same house which is being traded between B and E. So now I will not have three open contracts. I would still have only two open contracts. One is this one and one is this one. ठीक है, ये थोड़ा गलत एग्जांपल हो सकता है कॉन्टेक्स्ट में, अगर आपको स्टॉक्स के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में समझ आ रहा है, बट द नंबर ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स व्हिच आर स्टिल ओपन एंड नॉट क्लोज्ड, दैट इज कॉल्ड ओपन इंटरेस्ट. Question number 10. Which type of option trader has the right to sell the security before the maturity? Which type of option trader has the right to sell the security before the maturity? Call buyer, put seller, call seller, none of the above. Which of the option buyer has the right to sell the security before the maturity? The answer is put buyer. Understand the concept of put buyer. Suppose right now the price is 90 and you feel the price will go to 70. This is your hunch. Nobody knows, but this is your hunch. That price will move from 90 to 70. Now a put buyer will say that I'll buy a put at rupees 90. A put buyer will say I'll buy a put at rupees 90, which means that he will have the right, the put buyer will have the right to sell in 90 rupees, to sell in 90 rupees. Why he is buying this right? Why put buyer is buying this right? Because he believes that price is going to decrease. If I can sell my thing at 90 in future when the price is 70, I am the king. So put buyer will buy this right to sell at 90, assuming the price will go to 70. So put buyer will have the right to sell, not the obligation. If the price becomes 100, put buyer may not sell at 90. Why would he? He would sell at 100. So he has the right to sell, not the obligation. Right? Getting my point? अगर चीज समझ आ रही है तो प्लीज लाइक ठोकिए सेशन पे. And do let me know by typing in the chat window that yes, you are able to understand all these concepts. Question number 11. Under FRBM, a government can borrow from RBI through bonds, long-term loans, ways and mean advances, securitization, none of the above. Under FRBM, government can borrow from RBI through bonds, long-term loans, ways and mean advances, securitization, or none of the above. देखिए, FRBM के अंदर there is a provision that government to meet its short-term needs can borrow money from RBI. Government to meet its short-term needs can borrow from RBI, and that is called ways and means advances. That is called ways and mean advances. ठीक है जी? Temporary loan facilities by RBI to central and state government are called ways and mean advances. Which of the following does not come under the financial services for financial inclusion? इनमें से कौन सी चीज फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन के अंडर नहीं आती है? Come on guys, be fast. Which of the following does not come under the financial services for financial inclusion? The answer is subsidies. देखिए subsidies क्या होती हैं? When we are financing a cost of something, suppose a farmer takes lot of inputs and he incurs the cost of 10 rupees on growing potatoes, and he is able to sell only in 8 rupees. He will be in loss, but potatoes are needed. So what government will do? Government will say that okay, we will pay you 4 rupees subsidy so that your cost will come down from 10 minus 4 to 6. You are able to sell at 8, so that is a kind of a profit for you. तो सब्सिडीज देने से फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन नहीं बढ़ रहा है. When will financial inclusion happen? When you provide them banking facilities, when you provide them insurance facilities, when you provide them basic saving accounts, saving account, microcredit, insurance, financial advice, all that comes under financial services, financial inclusion. ठीक है, तो ये आपको याद रखना है. फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन का ये स्कोप है. सेविंग्स हो गई, क्रेडिट फैसिलिटी, एंटरप्रेन्योरियल क्रेडिट, लोन्स एंड इंश्योरेंस, मॉर्गेज आल्सो कम्स अंडर दिस फाइनेंशियल एडवाइस एंड पेमेंट एंड रेमिटेंस सर्विसेज. एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जब आप पैसा ट्रांसफर कर रहे हैं, दैट विल आल्सो कम अंडर फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज. चलिए ऑप्शन नंबर क्वेश्चन नंबर 13. What is the degree of default risk present in government securities? आपने गवर्नमेंट के 10 ईयर के बॉन्ड लिए. By default, what is the risk in them? High degree risk is there, low degree risk is there, zero risk is there, moderate risk is there, or none of the above. What is the degree of default risk present in government securities? High risk, high degree, low degree, zero, moderate degree, none of the above. Zero. See, government securities आपने लिया, आपने government से you bought bonds. Now there is zero risk that government will not return you money. Government can print money. Government can ask RBI to print money and return your money to you because government is government. है ना? गवर्नमेंट इज गवर्नमेंट. भौकाल है सरकार, हमारी भौकाल है, कुछ भी कर सकती है. क्वेश्चन नंबर 14. व्हाट इज द नेम ऑफ ऐप लॉन्च्ड फॉर फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज टच पॉइंट? To all those who have joined late, I would like to tell you that we are doing previous year questions of finance that have been asked in SEBI, RBI, PFRDA, previous years. ये सारे प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस हैं जो हम कर रहे हैं. व्हाट इज द नेम ऑफ द ऐप लॉन्च्ड फॉर फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज टच पॉइंट? दिस क्वेश्चन वाज एक्चुअली आस्क्ड इन सेबी फेज 2 2018. एट दैट टाइम an app was launched. At that time an app was launched which was recent at that time. Therefore this question was asked. The name of the app is Jan Dhan Darshak. Jan Dhan Darshak. But this question is not relevant in today's context because at that time it was based upon current affairs. Okay, so Jan Dhan Darshak app basically provides an interface to the citizens to view banking infrastructure, as in where are the various bank branches, where are the ATMs of various banks located. So all this information used to be provided by Jan Dhan Darshak app. It was launched by Arun Jaitley at that time, if I remember. Financial goods and services is provided to economically weaker sections at affordable price by financial institutions. Then it is called. Financial goods and services is provided to the economically weaker sections at affordable rates by financial institutions. ठीक है, फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस ने प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर लेंडिंग के अंडर कुछ एजुकेशन लोन दे दिया, कुछ एग्री लोन दे दिया. So that comes under which kind of services? That comes under financial inclusion. Pretty simple. ठीक है, सब्सिडीज नहीं है ये, सब्सिडीज गवर्नमेंट देती है, बैंक नहीं देते हैं. यहां पे बात हो रही है फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस की. Which of the following acts as agent of microfinance institutions in rural areas? Microfinance institutions क्या करते हैं? They give loans to self-help groups, but who are the agents who help them? A, B, C, D, E, insurance companies, NBFCs, self-help groups, regional rural banks, or none of the above. Which of the following acts as agents of microfinance institutions? The answer is RBIs. देखिए, रूरल एरिया में banking to the last mile is done by whom as of now? Those are regional rural banks. Regional rural banks were established under the Regional Rural Bank Act 1976. The first regional rural bank that you need to remember is Prathama Grameen Bank, which was founded on 2nd October 1975. And on whose recommendation regional rural banks were set up? The answer is Narsimha Working Group, 1975. Narsimha Working Group 1975 recommended this. Then it was formed in 1975. The first bank was Prathama Grameen Bank, and Act was passed to support these banks, Regional Rural Banks Act 1976. This is the information you need to remember. Question number 17. Financial Stability and Development Council is headed by whom? Financial Stability and Development Council is headed by whom? When you type the answer, also do let me know FSDC है क्या? What is the purpose of setting up FSDC? Who will tell me? What is the purpose of setting FSDC? FSDC is headed by Finance Minister of India. Finance Minister of India. FSDC, Financial Stability and Development Council, contains lot of members. RBI, all the regulatory bodies like RBI, SEBI, PFRDA, IRDAI, all are the members of FSDC. Why FSDC was set up? Because at the time of global financial crisis in 2008, government found that it was really hard to coordinate the activities of different regulatory bodies. So as a result, FSDC was set up. FSDC coordinates between all these different regulatory bodies. So that's an apex body, you would say, in which all the regulatory bodies are being coordinated. GST has rates levied in many brackets. Which of the following is the maximum GST rate applicable? GST has rates levied in many brackets. Which of the following is maximum GST rate applicable? बहुत सिंपल आंसर है इसका, ऑप्शन नंबर सी, 28% is the maximum GST rate applicable. What is the minimum? Can you also let me know what is the minimum GST rate applicable? This question was asked in RBI 2018. Question number 19. ये आज का बेस्ट क्वेश्चन है. This is the best question of the day. If you have not done this question before, if you have done this, it would be very easy for you. If you have not done this question before, and if you can do it now, if you get it correct, I can tell you that you are one of the top candidates to get selected in SEBI. Read this question very carefully. Stock price is given as rupees 60. Initial margin is 40%. Maintenance margin is 20%. At what price the margin call would be made if person has bought the futures? Stock price 60 है, initial margin 40%, maintenance margin 20%. The question is that at what price the margin call would be made if the person has bought the futures. नहीं आता है तो समझो, I'll explain it end to end. Stock price is 60. जो initial margin होता है, initial margin is 40%. So when you buy futures, they will take some margin money from you, because if tomorrow you are in loss, you cannot run away simply saying that I'll not pay my money. ठीक है? तो 40% of this 60, how much money they will take from you? 24. Maintenance margin is 20%. Maintenance margin is 20% of 60, that is 12. Initial margin is the money which they take from you when you trade in futures, so that you do not run away if you are in loss. So they take 24 rupees from you. But suppose you go into losses, suppose you start going into losses, then a point will come where they will say that deposit more money or we will close your trade. So maintenance margin is that point. Maintenance margin is that point that when this initial margin comes down to 12, that is, you start suffering losses out of your initial margin and your margin reduces to 12, then at this point it would be maintenance margin, because you have to deposit more amount. You have to deposit more amount. आपने 24 रुपए दिए कि इसमें से मेरे लॉसेस काट लो. लॉसेस होते गए 12 पे पहुंच गए. मेंटेनेंस मार्जिन 12 रुपए है, तो जैसे ही 12 पहुंचेंगे, मेंटेनेंस मार्जिन वाला पॉइंट रीच हो गया, दे विल आस्क यू टू डिपॉजिट मोर मनी. बिकॉज नहीं तो क्या होगा, ये 12 भी शायद कल को 6 परसों नेगेटिव हो जाएगा, आप बोलोगे मैं नहीं दूंगा. तो द मोमेंट इट रीचेस 12, दे विल आस्क यू टू डिपॉजिट मोर मनी, सो दैट अगेन यू कैन नॉट रन अवे विदाउट पेइंग योर लॉसेस. So now the question is that initial margin is 24, maintenance margin is 12. At what point the margin call would be made? What is margin call? That is the moment it reaches 12. The moment this margin reaches 12, they will ask you to deposit more money. That is called margin call. तो ये margin money, initial margin आपने 24 रुपए दिया, ये 12 कब पहुंचेगा? जब आपको 12 रुपए का लॉस हो जाएगा. When you will suffer a loss of 12, it will reach 12, because 24 minus 12 is 12, and at 12 the margin call would be made. So 12 रुपए का लॉस आपको सहना है, मतलब 60 minus 12, your cost or the price at that point in time would be rupees 48. I hope समझ आ रहा है. बहुत क्वालिटी क्वेश्चन है. बहुत क्वालिटी क्वेश्चन है. अगर आप ऐसा क्वेश्चन कर पाएंगे, हैट्स ऑफ टू यू. मेरा प्रणाम है आपको. और द पर्सन हु हैज सेट दिस क्वेश्चन इन सेबी आल्सो, मेरा उसको भी प्रणाम है. बहुत बढ़िया क्वेश्चन है, बहुत बढ़िया. मजा आ जाता है ऐसा क्वेश्चन करके, लगता है कि पढ़ने और पढ़ाने का फायदा हो रहा है. ठीक है, यही चीज मैंने यहां समझाई है. आई हैव ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन्ड यू देयर. व्हाट इज द टेन्योर ऑफ कैश मैनेजमेंट बिल्स? इसका आंसर बताइए और मुझे साथ ही साथ डू लेट मी नो व्हाट इज द डिफरेंट ड्यूरेशन ऑफ टी बिल्स. Cash management bills ka what is the duration among these options? Along with that also type and let me that what are the different duration with which T bills are released. The tenure of cash management bills, is less than 91 days. Cash management bills are issued by government to raise money for ultra short term. के बस सिर्फ 80-85 दिनों के लिए पैसे चाहिए. They will issue cash management bills. If they want money for longer duration, then they will issue T bills. T bills, the minimum duration is 91. Anything less than 91 would be cash management bills. ठीक है? Very good guys, very good. तो हमने 20 क्वेश्चन कर लिए हैं जिनके those who have scored more than 16, very good, you are doing great, keep it up. Those who have scored between 13 to 16, I think you just need to step up and analyze a bit that how can you take your score maybe 3-4 marks ahead. But आज काफी लोग सही आंसर दे रहे हैं. I'm really happy, but this is the actual level which is being asked in the exam. So these are not dummy questions. These are the actual questions that are being asked in your exam. Question number 21. Which type of tax is handled by CBDT? Also let me know the full form of CBDT. Which type of tax is handled by CBDT? Direct tax, indirect tax, both A and B, none of A and B. There is no such body called CBDT. जल्दी बताइए. CBDT stands for Central Board of Direct Taxes. Central Board of Direct Taxes. ठीक है. So नाम में ही direct आ गया. The type of tax which is handled by CBDT is direct tax. Asked in SEBI Phase 1 2020. Very important question. Apart from CBDT, there is another body called CBIC, Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Custom. So यहाँ पे I stands for indirect taxes. CBIC looks into the implementation of indirect taxes. The chairman of CBIC, that is indirect taxes, is Shri Vivek Jory, and the chairman of CBDT, direct taxes, is Jagannath Mahapatra. GSTN is allocated based upon, GST number is allocated based upon which number? Passport, Aadhaar card, driving license, PAN, or none of the above. GST is allotted based upon which number? Passport, Aadhaar card, driving license, PAN, or none of the above. GST is allotted based upon your PAN number. ये GST का फॉर्मेट होता है. First two digits are the state code which would be different for each state. Then there is 10 digits corresponding to the PAN number. So every GST number would have 10 digits corresponding to the PAN number of the entity who has availed that GST number. If I avail a GST number, here it would be my PAN number. So GST number is allocated based upon PAN number. Question number 23 again asked in SEBI Phase 1 2020. GST is applicable to. GST कहाँ applicable है? It is applicable to whole of India or whole of India but not to Union Territories of J&K and Ladakh. Whole of India excluding the northern eastern states. Option number D, whole of India excluding the Union Territories of J&K, Ladakh and the northern eastern states, or none of the above. जल्दी बताइए. GST is applicable to, the answer is whole of India. Now there is a lot of confusion. Some people say GST is not applicable in J&K. No. In 2017, even J&K Assembly passed a resolution that they are accepting GST to be implemented here. So till that time, it was only to whole of India except J&K. But starting 2017, I think it was in July, GST is now applicable to whole of India. If a hotel provides complimentary breakfast to its guests, then what kind of supply is this in the context of GST? We go to a hotel, in the morning we get complimentary breakfast, so what we are getting is a room and a complimentary breakfast. Here now you are mixing up two things. You are giving a hotel room and you are also giving a breakfast. So in context of GST, this is what kind of supply? Composite supply, mixed supply, exempt supply, no supply, none of the above. Very good everyone, very good. Proud of you guys. Really proud that you are my students and you are really doing well. I can see a lot of people are answering most of these questions correctly. So I can feel there is a lot of competition in SEBI this year. Only God saves the cutoff, I think. The answer is composite supply. The initial reaction is to take mixed supply, but I think that is the catch here. It is a composite supply. Composite supply happens when two things are supplied in such a way that they become a natural combination. They become a natural combination. So a hotel room and a breakfast, though they are two different things, a room and food, but they are a natural combination. That is called composite supply. अगर मैं दूध के साथ बिस्किट सप्लाई करूं, that will not be a composite supply. That's not a natural combination that is being supplied all over India. But yes, rooms and breakfast is a natural combination. So here my answer would be composite supply. ठीक है? Composite supply is a supply consisting of two or more taxable supplies or goods or services which are naturally bundled. Naturally bundled. This is important. The word naturally. Question number 25. Asked in PFRDA 2021, PFRDA 2021, identify the type of tax which is levied on spot conversions from one currency to another. That is, on currency exchange, what type of tax is applied whose main aim is to reduce the volatility which will lead to an increase of long-term investor utility or more predictable level of exchange rates. So guys, the question is कि जब भी हम currency exchange करते हैं, उस exchange में currency buying and selling में एक tax लगाया जाता है so that people are discouraged to exchange currencies without any purpose. Because जहां आप currency ज़्यादा exchange करेंगे without any purpose, you are just speculating, you think that price will increase or decrease and you will make profit. That increases the volatility in the market. So if there is a tax on every currency exchange, people would be discouraged to exchange currencies without any purpose. अगर actual में उनको चाहिए होगा घूमने के लिए, कुछ trade करने के लिए, then only they will exchange if there is a tax involved there. So that type of tax is basically called Tobin tax. Is called Tobin tax. ठीक है? So Tobin tax is a tax levied on spot currency conversions. तो वो currency conversions पे जो tax लगता है to discourage investors from doing transactions without any purpose, बेफालतू की transactions करना just to speculate the price up and down, is called Tobin tax. ठीक है, ये जनरल डेफिनेशन है. इंडिया में ऐसा कुछ Tobin tax नहीं लगता है. India में there is a securities transaction tax which is implied on every currency transaction, and that is like Tobin tax. That is equivalent to Tobin tax in India. ठीक है guys? So I hope आपको questions बहुत अच्छे लगे होंगे. क्वालिटी भी है, ट्रिकी भी है, एंड एक्चुअल भी है. द कीवर्ड इज एक्चुअल. दैट इज व्हाट इज बीइंग आस्क्ड इन योर एग्जाम. ठीक है, तो आपने तैयारी इसी तरह करनी है कि अगर आप बहुत डेप्थ में जाकर नहीं पढ़ पा रहे हैं, एटलीस्ट आप इन लेवल क्वेश्चंस को कर पाए, एंड यू शैल बी एबल टू स्कोर 20 plus out of 25 questions like this, at least in phase 1. Phase 2 में when the competition heats up, obviously you would be required to increase your score further, but that's a separate game altogether. Let's not talk about it. Our first goal is to clear phase 1. तो कोई टेंशन है, एंजाइटी है, नर्वसनेस है, just think all is well, because you can easily clear phase 1 by just getting those 80 marks. और वो बहुत मुश्किल नहीं है, 12-13 हजार लोग phase 1 clear करेंगे. But I think the real game would be to clear phase 2, because that is where only out of 11,000 2 or 300 will remain. तो अभी आप टेंशन ना लें, कुछ मुश्किल लग रहा है छोड़ दें, ज्यादा स्ट्रेस ना लें, एटलीस्ट फेज 1 को थोड़ा चिल करके दें, देन यू कैन स्टेप अप बिटवीन फेज 1 एंड फेज 2. ठीक है, इफ यू नीड एनी हेल्प you can always email us at hello@edutap.co.in. we are always there for you. You want any strategy call, you want any help, you want any motivational talk, we are always there for you. You can just email us at hello@edutap.co.in, or you can call us at 81462 07241. So take care, my friends. I wish you best of luck for your preparation. Bye bye, have a nice day. Shab Bakhair.